So that you mentioned Jellybean Johnson,
Yeah,
drummer with the time and guitarist on his own right, the Jellybean Johnson Experience. You guys are soulmates, brothers, and you've worked together. And tell us about the connection you guys. First, people that don't know how you guys became affiliated, and to this day, you guys are going strong.
man, it's been over 30 years I've been knowing Bean now, man. We hit it off immediately, man. I met Jelly Bean. This how it happened. I was on tour with my dad. I was playing with my dad behind Coco Taylor, Junior Wells, and my dad. We were the Alligator All Stars. This was back in '93,
Mm-hmm.
and we were touring with BB King. It was the BB King Blues Festival, and we were touring all over the United States with BB as the closed the show with Eric Johnson. He was part of the show, and then Buddy Guy, and then us, Coco Taylor, Junior Wells, and Lonnie Brooks. And we played up in Minnesota at the state fair in Minneapolis, and Bean was there. I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know Bean at the time, and I didn't know he was there. He was in the audience, and so fast forward, we had a week off or something like that, and we was here in Chicago, and I was just hanging out in Chicago, man, on the north side. It's this club they used to have called Blues on Halsted, and then directly across the street is the Kingston Mines, a famous blues club, and two famous blues clubs like right next door to each other. I mean, across the street from each other. So I'm at Blues, and somebody said Albert Collins is down at the Mines. I was like, what? I love Albert,
Right.
So I run down to see Albert. AC Reed was playing, and I walked in the door. Albert was watching AC play, and I walked in the door. Jelly Bean was sitting there, and Jelly Bean was 6'4", 6'5",
And wears a hat a lot of time.
and make him look like he's 7 foot,
Right.
And he just stood up right before I got in and said, "Hey, you Ronnie Baker Brooks?" I said, "Yeah, Jelly Bean Johnson." And to be honest with you, Joe, I was so caught up in seeing Albert Collins, it didn't even ring Jelly Bean Johnson. I'm thinking because he was so big and he had on a Minnesota Vikings jersey. I'm thinking he a football player.
Right.
and man, and I collect myself. Oh, he said, "Man, I just saw you. Wasn't y'all just up in Minnesota?" I said, "Yeah, man, yeah." And it started clicking. This is Jelly Bean, from the time,
right.
And man, we hit it off, man, and we exchanged phone numbers. And like during that break of that tour, we played the Fine Line up there in Minneapolis,
Mm-hmm.
and I invited Bean to come down, and he came down. He met my dad, and man, we just hit it off immediately, man. I would come back up there and go hang out with Bean. We go hit the all the clubs, and we became like brothers, man.
Right.
We would go jam together, and it came down to me getting ready to do a record, and I just called Bean to vent about it. Like, man, I'm trying to get this record done, man. And I was running into obstacles, And he said, "Hey, bro, give me a ticket down there. I'll come help you to Memphis. Give me a ticket to Memphis. I'll come down there and help you." I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I'll produce it." I was like, "You kidding me?" Now, I didn't know at the time, Bean had never produced a blues record. It was all R&B or rock, what he do,
Right.
But I go to his house prior to that. He got damn near more blues records than I had, man. And I'll never forget, I'll be at his crib, man. I'm blasting some Albert King early in the morning. I'm like, "Oh, let me turn this down." He's like, "No, turn it back up, turn it back up." Or we listening to John Lee Hooker while we eating breakfast, And our relationship built, man. And when we went down to Memphis to look at studios, quick story, we were looking at studios and we went to my friend's studio. Nico Lyris had a studio called Cotton Row.
Okay.
And in that studio, 3-6 Mafia was recording out of at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were building, they were hot, but they were getting like to that level where they were getting ready to win that Oscar, And we go in there, man, me and Bean go in there to look at the studio. When we got there, it was all these expensive cars parked in the front. Like Bentleys and Maybachs and trucks. And I'm like, "Ooh, somebody big in here, We go in the door, man, and Nico's like, look, man, when you come here, I'm gonna lock this down. It's normally like he thinking I'm a blues guy, you know. I'm gonna be a little offended by these rappers in there. We walked in the studio, man. It was weed so thick, Joe, you couldn't even see yourself, man.
Yeah, it was like a P-Funk recording
Yeah,
session. Yeah,
but the vibe was thick, man. They were in there creating, man. And soon we walked in, they was like, you remember that song "Hit a Mother"
yeah,
that they
yeah,
had?
yeah,
They were cutting that. Put that "Hit a Mother." I don't know if I could say the words on this show,
yeah.
but
Or
it's
do it as Kamala Harris say M, and it doesn't end with ER.
yeah.
She said that's her
Hit a
favorite curse
MF.
word. Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Put that hit him MF up, you know. And man, they put that song. He said, "Put it up for Jellybean, man," because they knew Jellybean. They didn't know me too well, but they knew Jellybean.
Right.
And me and Bean was looking at each other like, "Whoa." He said, "Man, this is crazy, but it's a great studio." And that's when it started, man. Me and Bean worked our butts off, man. Sometimes we'd be in the studio 24 hours, man.
Yeah,
And
and you work together with other Minnesota crew, you know, Michael Bland, Sonny T, Chance Howard,
yeah,
with Jelly Bean. That must have been a cool recording session, right?
that all stemmed from Bean.
Yeah.
We did the Gold Digger CD down in Memphis with Steve Potts on drums, Dave Smith on bass, and then Ernest Williamson on keyboards. And Bean helped me out on some guitars, and I did some guitars, most of the guitar, all the guitars. Bean helped me on some. So for the Take Me With You record, Bean's like, "Hey, bro, we're gonna do something a little different." I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "Well, we're gonna do the Memphis stuff, but I got something." Now he didn't tell me. So we do the Memphis stuff. He said, "Man, I set up a session here in Minneapolis with Sonny and Michael Bland and Chance." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So I went up to Minnesota, man, and we cut about 5 or 6 tracks up there with them, man. I'll never forget Mick Condition was coming in the studio checking us out while we were cutting, and it was just a cool vibe, man. And Sonny and Michael B was awesome, man. And they were like so cool to me, like, "Ronnie, we should take this on the road, man." You know, at that time they wanted to go on the road as a 3-piece, and Bean, you know, a 4-piece with Bean as a special guest. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, if I had what I have now with the backing of Alligator Records, I would do it. But at the time, I didn't have no help. I was just trying to do it all by myself.
Yeah.
And you know, when you bring out Michael and Sonny, it's got to be that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You got a business decision too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that was an honor to work with them. And then we did it again on the Torch album. And the cool thing about being introduced to those cats, man, they all come from the blues. But of course, they do, what they're known for. But they got that blues root in them, man. All of them, you know. And even Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, they got that blues root in them.
And you played on one of the tracks with the time that hasn't been released, right?
Yeah.
So the Cowboy or
Cowgirl.
Cowgirl. Okay, yeah. Maybe one day.
One day, hopefully, man. Larry Graham's on that track. I believe Prince is on the track. Terry is on. Terry didn't play as Larry. I think Bean's on drums. I'm not sure. I forget. I know I played, and Prince. I believe Prince is on rhythm guitar too.
So I know you've told the story on my radio show, but to the YouTube audience and everything, you had a connection hanging out with Prince at Paisley Park. A little while back, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Man, that was actually during that same time. Bean, see what he told me. This how Bean always would, you know, hold his cards real close to his chest or something. Because I was young, you know, and he, you know. And they're famous, man. You know, you got to protect that, you know. And he called me up. They said, "Man, Prince is doing this celebration at Paisley. You should come on up." I was like, "Cool." So I went up there, not knowing that he had set up this session with Terry Lewis at Terry Lewis' house.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I did Cowgirl.
Right.
So we cut 2 days. I went there first day. And hung out at Terry's house and talking, you know, getting to know Terry a little better. And then the second day, I came back and he
Oh, your audio
had,
dropped out. There you
hey,
go.
yeah, I
I
had cut the
I hear you.
track that day before, and Terry asked me just to come back just to make sure we got it, you know.
Mhm.
And I came back the next day. He was like, "Man, I don't know what you did to this track, Ronnie, but I could not let it go all night. I've been working on it all night, man." And I was like, "Come on, Terry, don't, you know." But Bing was like, "No, he's not. He's not playing. Terry's serious. Terry's very serious."